Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Today is spring has sprung. We have wolves, we have rabbits, but most of all, I have a Skullcap SaVant for you. We're going to do some VSteg, so join us in the live chat right after this. Welcome back, Ben. Good to have you. Hopefully my mom, you can't hear her. I don't know. She's very loud.
Did you get your whatever your lung attack under control there that you're having?
I was choking on screen. Yeah, I had to take a little swig.
Did you get some bubbly down in the wrong pipe or something? Is that what happened?
Waterloo, yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Well, we've got some cool stuff to talk about today that is prescient. I think this is breaking off the press. Nobody has these insights on the internet.
No, this was kind of exciting. And it's interesting that like we're both seeing similar things, that things we hadn't even shared with each other. So that's kind of
our own qualia aptitudes, if Cliff was to call it something, right?
Yeah, there you go. Use some Cliffy words. You use some Cliffy words. Yeah.
But markets are in turmoil, very confusing times, sorcery abound, Q posts coming to fruition, and there's evidence out there in the stream of the events that we both picked up on. In other words,
where did you go? Where did you go? It says that I have plenty of bars and that are we still here? Do we just lose Ben? Oh no. We've just been talking for like 30 minutes and everything's been fine. I don't know why we would just lose Ben. Let me text him and tell him you froze. Well, you gotta love a little technical challenge. Usually means you're right over the target. We were just seeing some things. Oh, there, he left, so he'll try to come back. Everything will be fine. We were just seeing some things. It was kind of funny because my son had shown me on his, you guys know, Cannon gives us little Fortnite updates, and there's this big bad wolf standing at a desk, and he's got like a market thing showing the market crashing. And in fact, I might have the picture. I think I have the picture. I'll show you the picture. I think I took a picture. Yes, I did. Of the market crashing, and it was the dill bit. I don't know if you guys remember, that was the little cryptocurrency crashing. And look there's little gold pieces on the scale. Is there an arrow on there too? No. But he's got lots of gold on. The market is crashing. It says something about the dill bits crashing, and the wolf seems very angry. I don't know if that's the Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not sure. But this was like the Fortnite picture. And then it moved into something else that when Ben gets back here, we'll talk about. Looks like there's little puppies watching too. Little puppy heads at the bottom of that screen. I don't know. It's kind of interesting when you look at all the little pieces of that. All the little pieces. There he is. Hey, did you see I was just telling him about Cannon showing me.
Okay, there we go. Wolf. That's the thing that's the wolf.
This is the Fortnite. This is the beginning.
This is today?
This is maybe 2 days ago.
Because it's got Dilbit in a pickle. Remember the dancing pickles from his game too?
Yes. So that's the cryptocurrency, is the Dilbit. And then it looks like, is that the Wolf of Wall Street? I don't know. It's a wolf. He could give more explanation. But I also noticed these scales over here with gold pieces sitting on them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's two little kids or little dogs down here watching like what looks like on TV. Like they're watching
those are like child wolves. They're like wolf pups kind of thing.
Pups, maybe watching the TV with is that Jim Cramer, maybe the wolf? Market's crashing. Oh no, the Dilbit's in trouble. Don't worry, stack your gold.
The meme stuff, like with crypto, just in general, absurdity. Because I've been following the FAT token. You know what the FAT token is, right?
I do not. I've not been keeping.
Well, Fat Fella Season is the official name on Twitter, but they use the N-word liberally in their marketing instead of fella. And it's
terrible.
No, I don't even think it is. It's kind of like self-ingratiating humor. It's not actually very denigrating at all. It's just really, really good memeing. And the meme tokens themselves, we need to get into that realm today. Like that's taking on its whole, like we can do another show next week on that if it's still relevant. But
that's fine.
So the wolf stuff. So you buttered the audience up. Sorry, everybody. Apparently we got a warning shot across the bow. Shut the fuck up, they say. But here we go. We're not going to shut up. We're going to show you our insights to, like the preamble being the markets. I mean, just the markets in general, the tariffs. It really doesn't need. We don't really need much of a primer, I don't think, this week. People know what's going on. The emotional tension is high. So I'm going to just step in. Lisa and I were talking about this before the show. I've got some new insights, steganography wise, that just this morning I was coming about. And tell me if you can see this on your end. Can you see my little Discord instance? So everybody, this is my Discord community. It's private invite only. I'll probably be opening it back up once we do some paid content again for new entrants in to join this. But this is kind of where we do our research. It's more encrypted than Telegram. It's why I don't do it publicly, because we keep riffraff out this way, but this is the Steganography channel where I post findings on a daily basis. It's kind of a running catalog of things that go on. But starting this morning, I found this curious clip that Marvel had posted overnight. The clip itself is down here. I've posted it, the entirety of its YouTube link. And I will give all this stuff to Lisa at the end of the show, so you can all peruse through this yourself, sans the insights, but you can watch the show for that. But for a little bit of backstory with the Wolverine character, specifically as depicted by Hugh Jackman in the Deadpool movie from last year, it's very significant to the VSTEG work. The VSTEG work keyed on to July 19th, 2019 as a day that would be very significant to the Oz lore. Oz is a very significant piece of the financial markets, as we've known, especially those people that have been with Bix for a long time. We've discussed it on this channel. Oz is very, very central to the mind control matrix that covers and occludes our sensory apparatuses to what's going on, finance markets included. So whenever
I'm sorry to interrupt you. You just said July. And when we pre-gamed, Janine's other card was July.
Okay, interesting.
April through July. So
specifically, we're talking about July of last year too, guys. July 2024, July 19th, 2024. Well,
we may be talking about July of this year.
And we're probably going to be talking about July this year also with Janine's. I just wanted to clarify with the Wolverine mention. That's so the movie came out that same week. The Deadpool Wolverine movie. They were tied to the Wizard of Oz. The movie itself was an Oz allegory. They literally, Deadpool called it out. Deadpool talks to the audience, as you know, in his comics and his movies, and he called out to the audience that this was Wizard of Oz. So it was pretty on the nose. I mean, you had all the beats. You had the dog pool, Dorothy's, little Toto dog there. As Lisa pointed out to me earlier in the week, I hadn't put two and two together, but the Doge dog itself is pulling back the curtain on the malfeasance behind the market. So this was noteworthy to me. I was explaining to Lisa in the pre-show, when my steganography, antenna is going off, I can just be scrolling. It's funny on Twitter looking for something and I'll stop. Like it always has a tendency to stop me right where I need to focus for just long enough to keep prodding with the impulse. So I prodded, and what this video ended up being, guys, is it's a 8 hour and 36 minute and 8 second long video. It's in the vein of one of these meditation videos. If you look at it, I'll just hit play here. This is it. This is the video. It's just him sitting here staring at you while he breathes and growls. All right. The red and the yellow is funny with the timing of the Chinese tariff wars, right? Like the red flag and all that stuff too. But right in the middle, right here, you can see at 4 minutes or 4 hours and 18 seconds in, for a 5-second interval, he does this. He strikes this little pose on the little scrubbing bar, and the close-up of that pose I've got up here. So there it is. He's got his 3 claws and his teeth out, his eyebrow is raised, and he's basically with his left hand, almost like Neo, inching you to come forward and fight him, right? Or this was interesting to me because I was like, wait a second, I've seen this before, and it didn't take me long. Issue number 1 of Wolverine, the limited series that introduced him as kind of his own character outside of the X-Men in 1982 was this. It's the exact facsimile. This is what they're doing here. There's the steg, right?
Is that the nod to April 4?
What's that now?
Is that the nod to April 4?
This cover right here specifically?
Like when we were talking earlier, we were talking about.
I haven't gotten to that quite yet. But so further than that, Lisa and I were discussing even the merits of what's going on here with the numerology, because we've got 3 claws extended. This has no claws, instead 1 finger. So is this the months and the years we were starting to discuss? There are 4 total appendages, and 1 is a finger. Is this the 41 of Oz? Oz equals 41 and 14, by the way, everybody, in simple gematria, reduced in English and ordinal both. And so there's why we're associating Oz with the 41. But Lisa, you were also, tell everybody what your insights were for the numerology, because I
was thinking 3-1, like 31, but then also 4 for April. See, that's why I'm not good at going back again, because I see it when I say it, but then I forget what I said the first time.
13, 3, 1, and then like if anybody sees anything,
1 is for April.
3 plus 1 was 4 for April is what we were talking about. If you're going to actually extend the numerology out. So this is live, guys. These are suppositions. We don't actually have conclusions on this. We want to show you some curious things that are in the event stream as they're unfolding today, as they relate probably to financial markets. So this is what we're seeing so far. It's not perfect process.
And then that was where I came. So I was killing time while you were gone, but that's when I came in with, oh my gosh, Cannon was showing me the wolf.
The wolf. That's what kicked off the whole wolf thing from, right. So now you guys are seeing, that's why we brought up the Wolverine at all, just so it's clear.
Yeah.
You got Wolverine, this is today, and then Cannon's insight from Fortnite, which has the wolf, financial markets. So how are we tying this to financial markets? All right. So here's where it always gets fun with the steg. So essentially, it doesn't stop here. This is a comic book issue. It was released in 1982, and there's a date stamp that these things were released too. I have it down here. The original series run was June 1st, 1982 to August 31st, 1982 for the 4 issues that spanned this miniseries to introduce the Wolverine character on his own. So that's another thing, Lisa, that you and I didn't discuss in the pre-show. Essentially, you have the beginning of June, literally the first day of June, and the last day of August as the bookends for this limited 4 episode run that they did. So does that signify something that's going to happen between June 1st, August 31st? Food for thought. But it gets weirder, guys, because when you look into the synopsis for issue number 1, bearing this cover, of which we're looking again at the 4 hour and 18 minute mark in the video from what Marvel posted on their official page, you get a synopsis for the issue called I'm Wolverine. And it's simply, it chronicles Wolverine hunting in the Canadian Rockies. Here's part of the V-Stag as it relates to Tesla again. A lot of stuff goes back to Tesla. Colorado Springs was his facility where he did his experimentation. There's something to the thinness of the atmosphere and the access to the ether there is why he was there. But what's more interesting to our financial steganography for what this conveys is there's an arrow stuck in a bear's back, and it's going crazy. It's killed 15 people, and he has to take care of it. So he gets the bear, he kills it, and then he takes the arrow out of the bear's back and tracks where the arrow came from, because Wolverine's like a wolf. He's got like these extrasensory perceptive abilities where he's able to go back and track like a wolf would. So I keep posting about this. I post number 2. Here's number 2 in the series. I posted a synopsis of its plot summary, and
Which
it's entitled Debts and Obligations.
What Doge is doing is tracking the market. Like today, there was an announcement that they found it was some insane. Sorry, let me find my Telegram really quick. I think I posted it in Telegram. There's a couple things, but
well, while you're pulling that up, I'll just explain.
Yeah,
with this particular synopsis, I don't want anybody to look too far into it. There's a lot that goes on with ancient Japan. Ancient Japan has a lot to do with my steg work too, as you'll find in different capacities. But quite simply, for our purposes in the financial steganography, the title of this issue is all we're looking at for our sake today: Debts and Obligations. So you have I'm Wolverine with the bear market with the arrow stuck in his back, debts and obligations, and then the third called loss, the fourth called honor. I didn't bother putting the synopsises up there because they became less and less relevant, and it was clearly the steganography that was in the title of these issues that we're supposed to be looking at. So now that brings us back to the very beginning. It's a 5-second long clip, 5 for the V, the Roman numeral. V is in the Roman numeral system, the number 5. We had my insight of the original series run from June 1982 to the end of August 1982. And then, funny enough, guys, I have a book called The Book of Symbols, and I pulled up both the bear right here, and you can see right here, the bear is the animal of the virgin huntress goddess Artemis, one unto herself, like the single bear mother, ferocious patroness of childbirth, young animals, and children, capable of dismembering anyone who intrudes upon her sphere. Okay? And that's how Artemis, who is Apollo's twin sister in the pantheon of the Greek gods, Zeus's children, there is something to be said for her association here with this, because it's funny enough, you get back to the bow and the arrow part of it. Again, a totally separate part of the symbolism in the book. Artemis is mentioned again. The bow and the arrow is an attribute of the huntress Artemis, mistress of wild things, whose arrows bring sudden death and whose hounds can unerringly sniff out their unseen prey. What does Wolverine do? He takes literally an arrow out of the back of a bear, so Artemis incarnate, and is able to what? Sniff it out off the scent of the arrow? I mean, tell me if I'm not onto something here, right, Lisa?
You're onto it, because what is Doge doing? Doge is
sniffing it out.
Hold on one sec. I'm going to show this really quick, and then I'll put it back up. Oh, wrong one. Doge is sniffing out.
Oh yeah, the comic, the Ben Garrison. It's a really good little.
The theft of the market.
Yeah.
And so they just found $5 trillion of payments, untraceable payments. I don't know how it's an untraceable payment in digital payments, but
well, and how do you find them if they're untraceable? That's what's so funny about the phrase.
There you go.
It's like,
No, they have no records of where it went. And they just
there's
found
your
a
5 trillion and your 72 billion, both VSTEG numbers. Remember, the pentacle is 72 degrees, 36 degrees, and 108 degrees. So you've got steg just in the numerology very clearly there too.
Yeah. So there is 5 trillion untraceable payments. I don't know how you have untraceable. There was one other thing I wanted to share that I saw today that was interesting. I don't know how I feel about all of this. I'm not advocating for this, but it does bring the 5 up about humanity, or humans in the 5, in this video. I'd love to get your feedback on this without getting off topic. But
666, the mark of the beast. On the North Pole of Saturn, you have the cube. Add up all the sides, you get 6 points, 6 triangles, 6 sides.
It's a hexagon. It's a hex.
System, not a
That's why I called it the cube.
Start in the stars, and then we incarnate through Saturn. Saturn materializes our soul into the 666 carbon suit. All life forms are based on the bonding properties of carbon. 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 666. The body is the beast. The Bible tells you Satan is the god of this world. He has blinded the minds of those who do not believe. Because when our soul incarnates through these 7 celestial spheres, we forget who we are before this lifetime. The symbol for Saturn is even showing you this. All of the planet symbols are made out of the Holy Trinity, the sun, the moon, and the cross for Earth. The Saturn symbol is the Earth cross and the moon crescent. Earth is matter, moon is mind, sun is soul. The Saturn symbol is showing you Earth over moon, matter over mind, when it should be mind over matter. We incarnate into this.
So there is no 5 or 4 in sacred geometry. It's 3, 6, 9. Like, so we've forgotten who we are. I know this is getting off topic, but
no. I think this is all part of the spellcasting glyphs. All he's doing is he's doing symbol deciphering of symbols and letters and numbers. And he's putting it in a pretty cohesive way. And it does lock into some of my suppositions. You know, that's why I've got this as a reminder. Everyone, Saturn isn't supposed to have rings. These are manufactured objects around its orbit. These aren't natural formations. So just the inclusion of them there has to make you wonder, in my opinion, what that is doing in reference to the moon as an oscillation kind of almost like an attenuator. If you're going to do like a musical kind of a associative comparison to what's happening, if you were to strum the strings of those rings, they do have harmonics to them. So the supposition in my work is that Saturn might have an interplay with the moon as a device. And that device, who knows what it's capable of doing in the disruptive frequencies of our thinking and cognition, maybe even our very reincarnation cycle. Maybe it's making us unnaturally suffer inside of a little echo chamber.
Well, that's
where,
like the 4D thing. That's where like the dimensions thing. So that's back to your deciphering. I think it doesn't show it on the bottom anymore. I don't know if you took it down, but we got to a point where you were talking about the samurai. When you were talking earlier, and one of Cannon's Fortnite things in the next episode or whatever after the wolf and all that shows he goes, they have this, it's like a samurai helmet, and he goes, but we don't know what that's for. And I was like, well, that's a samurai warrior helmet. And then there's a new portal. The old portal is covered with gold, but it's broken.
Right. So
left on the mountain and it's broken. And the new portal is a dragon. And there's plasma balls in it, which look like the ones that the missing plane, Malaysian plane, you know how they were bouncing around in threes.
Yeah.
And then the Malaysian plane pooped and disappeared. That's what it looks like, is going around this dragon plasma circle. And he goes, but
dragons are very much like your Kundalini. And I mean, even in a Japanese cartoon that your son may or may not have seen, because this is more my age of things, but there's one called Dragon Ball Z. and there's a magic dragon that pops out, Japanese cartoon, pops out once you found the 7 Dragon Balls, and you get to unlock your wish. This is your chakra system. You know, you start at the base and you activate each of them up till you hit your crown, and then the dragon grows wings. This is that's what the hermetic staff is. That's the 2 serpents going up the staff, connecting at the third eye and growing wings. The winged serpent, the dragon. Now, by the way, everybody, the word serpent is the most important with dragon. V-Stag, anytime you see dragons or serpents, I don't even think you and I have talked about this, Lisa, but serpent is a Latin term, and it's very rooted deeply in the steganography because it breaks apart into 2 pieces, serpent. It's a 2-part contraction of a word. And we kind of already know, because we borrowed the Latin from penta, pentagram. Pent means 5, penta, like the pentacles in the tarot even. So penta is of 5 components. And ser is just a modifier in Latin, which means this is me, or it is to be something. Like this is a declarative, like this is something that is of this nature. So if you put in serpen and make the word serpent, all it means is to be the number 5. So serpent, if you were to actually translate it like literally into English, is almost like a direct translation for the word human, of 5 components, to be the number 5.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's a little bit of a lesson for anybody who sees this stuff. It's usually whenever you see the dragon, it's to manipulate the core energy flow of humans, or it's indicative of just expressing symbolically that it's included in the process of whatever you're seeing unfolding. You see it in storytelling a lot, even to indicate an awakening. That's why the Game of Thrones has the 3 dragons, the one that falls. Yeah, we don't need to go into that, but so to also depict, though, for the samurai, for people picking that component out of the Fortnite lore, people need to realize that the samurai way, the way that the samurai specifically existed, not the Japanese people, but the samurai code, the samurai way of life, their protectorate, their moral system, their honor codes, these were all Aryan. These were infused by the Aryans, and the Aryans specifically played a role in defining and beginning the samurai class in Japan. People always make a lot of, I don't know, flippant remarks even about like The Last Samurai. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for now because we're not using this. We'll come back to this in a second. But they make a flippant comments like Tom Cruise was a white guy as The Last Samurai. But that was the point. He was the last white samurai. The samurai were white to begin with. They were blue-eyed, blonde Aryans, and they influenced Japan. And eventually they were not white anymore because they blended into the public a little bit there. But you see the Aryan influence in a lot of what we're finding out with our ancient past right now. This is part of the V-Stag, guys, the Aryan influence on the past. Tartaria, Anatolia, India, Japan. The Aryan root is the thing that we need to figure out where that came from, because it just arrived on planet Earth out of nowhere at some point. Cro-Magnon, they call it, right, in the fossil record. Just came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, Neanderthals went through an evolutionary leap, they say, right? So this is all part of the fossil record. It's part of redefining our history. There's a lot to the V-Stag. It's the stuff that is occluded such that you don't find out the correct polarity in what you're looking at. Mind control, remember? So finance is just one part of that. Your history is another. The technology is another. And that's why Tesla's all over it, because there's truth in the sciences and the UFO file and secrecy itself. Cliff High's data, right? Like, I hope everybody by this point is just keying on to the fact that the steganography is just another way to look at all the same themes. And so when we're finding out that Fortnite, Marvel, all of these big production companies, the sports leagues, Hollywood, they all synchronize these things somehow, right? They're all using the same set of sorcery, you might conclude, because why would it be so well synchronized with all this numerology that connects with all this key symbolism? Why did I literally, guys, like come think of it, like set the qualia of it aside. what we're decoding here with the sniffing out of the arrow out of the bear's back from with the Artemis, like these things aren't coincidental. So I don't know, Lisa, given that, what do you think the dragon means? Because here's some just new context. I have Aryans and the Kundalini life force itself, right? Like what else is going on? Because I might argue those three plasma things are like the 369 you're talking about, right? Like
right. Well, didn't they just come out and there was all this proof about that they couldn't have ever cremated that many people?
You're talking about all the people that are doing the Holocaust math.
Yes.
And they're debunking it. Yeah.
They're debunking that math.
This has been a cue for a long time, by the way. I mean,
yeah.
There's a really funny video. Let me
that's coming out. And then also the Japan thing, you know, Sean was just talking about how Japan used to be this very strong culture, and now they've had to bend the knee and be this polite culture because they lost their honor. And now it's the tide turning, and Japan and the US are tied very closely, especially in financial markets. And so
and Trump's always our good friend Abe. That deal that we made, it would have been such a great deal, with the best deal of the century, but we're never going to find out because he was brutally assassinated. My good friend, you know, he had that whole thing last week on the Liberation Day. He had that whole thread. Well, did you see that part?
No.
Yeah, he had a little quip. It was last week on Liberation Day, and he was being interviewed, and he's my friend Shinzo. That deal that we had was the best. It was the deal of a lifetime, but no one will ever see that deal because he died. My good friend, you know, and so he went on that whole little thing. Today, by the way, he let something slip that was very definitive that got by everybody after he signed the executive order. You know, reporters are asking, it's all tariff.
I know, but the media is so negative on the tariff, and you're going to pay. I had a great post from someone explaining how if you do the math, if you calm down, pump the brakes, and calm down, and actually do the math, it's not like I can read through it for people, but because of the way. Because of the taking away the taxes from not only corporate but Americans, the tariffs are not going to cause the amount of pain, and we're still going to get tons of money into the U.S. And then
it doesn't all collapse. This is all assuming that, you know, he does the art of the deal thing with the sine wave. Markets are down. Markets are up.
And he's telling people buy. He's saying it's a great time to buy. Like,
everything except for the 2-year is being bought. Everything except for the 2-year bond.
Okay, there's also a really weird, which I am not an XRP fan. However,
with a V and the lambda right in their logo, I can't imagine why, you know.
Well, but I did see this weird thing where, like, and I don't know that this is true, but somebody posted this thing that said that, where is it?
Well, real quick, while you're looking that up, let me just say what Trump said today at the desk after the executive order, when people, what if this causes a war? And he said something like this. He said, I'm paraphrasing. He said, no one would dare attack us. We have weapons we haven't even unveiled yet. You don't even know. It would be over in a second. The destruction, swift. Our technology, nobody knows, nobody can match it. And we haven't even brought it out yet. He said this at the desk. I'm like, oh my God, there's the UFO shit, you know?
But SWIFT is our payment system.
Right. And yeah, I don't know if that's why I'm saying I'm paraphrasing. Don't look too far into that.
Okay.
I don't remember if he said that specifically. Okay. It was more about the destruction that would happen overnight because no one would. And he says and he also says they know this already, which is why they don't dare threaten us. So, and they do. I've said this for years in my own studies. China is trumped by us and our tech. The fact that they don't know how advanced it is reason not to risk it.
Okay, now I just forgot what I was looking at.
You were looking.
Oh, the XRP thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I'm just not a fan, but I'm going to show you this anyway. Because, and we were going to go down this whole other rabbit hole, which we still will.
We put a peg in the wolf stuff just for a second, guys. We're coming back to it.
Yeah, we're going to come back to it. But
coming back to Artemis. Artemis is where we left off. Remember, Artemis is the bow, the arrow, and the bear being sniffed out here. And how does she play into the Oz ritual of the financial collapse?
Okay, I do not endorse this. However, I'm not going to not share this. And I'm also not confirming this.
This is a patent?
Supposedly, only because it's 88. Supposedly, and you know how Back to the Future, 88. So supposedly, and I guess I could just look it up. I know how to look up patents. In fact, I will.
I'd have a hard time, like this person on X has determined that this leads to blockchain technology. I would have to have you prove to me that this tech is the underlayment of blockchain, whatever this is.
Well, and they said it was from 88. So I'm curious. Yeah. Because
all this is
this just shows a distributed.
It's distributed checking. It's validation. That's all it is.
That doesn't show blockchain.
No. I mean, blockchain's used distributed validation at the level of the entire network. So, but that's a process. He wouldn't own the output of this process, but he might have, because here's the thing.
Of distributed computer system, not decentralized, just distributed.
It's only distributed. It might not even be validation. It might just be networking. It might just be at the networking level that this is depicted.
But
that's actually what it looks like to me without reading it, just based on this diagram. It maybe is just a localized computer.
So it may be one piece of it, not to,
like virtual
to give some credit. It may be one piece of it. What stood out to me was the 88. So
yeah. That's a dumb conclusion, I think, for that guy to make, to suggest that that's the underlayment of blockchain technology. It's just like networked.
I don't think that
network communication protocol between machines and users. It looks like at some variety.
Okay, so not a claim of Satoshi Nakamoto.
I wouldn't say so.
Also, that's another big story. Who was it? The what's his name? Like man of law. Just sued.
Law.
Oh,
I don't know that one.
Oh, what's his Twitter name? He just sued the United States government for a FOIA to reveal.
Judicial Watch guy?
Satoshi Nakamoto. His name's like Lawfare Man or something. Hold on. Man of Meta Law Man. Here it is. Hold on. Am I showing my screen now? Meta Lawman. He said the great mystery of Meta Lawman. This guy. He said he put in for a FOIA. He said that they claim to know the answer, but isn't talking. So today I sued the U.S. government to find out exactly what they know. Through FOIA, I have a lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security. My FOIA seeks documents concerning claims made by a high-ranking special agent of DHS that DHS had found and interviewed in person Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto. DHS made these statements publicly at the Offshore Alert Conference on Financial Intelligence Investigations in 2019. The agent claimed that DHS agents interviewed Satoshi in California in person. They learned 3 other people helped Satoshi create Bitcoin. My FOIA simply asked for the notes, email, other documents relating to the alleged interview. If the interview really happened, as DHS agent claimed, there should be documents of the substance of that meeting. I would encourage Secretary Noem to voluntarily disclose the information I requested. It's entirely possible that the DHS agent was mistaken and DHS did not interview the real Satoshi.
Or it's even more simple than that. And like the person, like this is weird to me because like, say I'm just a guy Like I'm not, and the government wants to interview me. Is it not my right to ask if I'm the guy being interviewed that this remain a private affair and for it not to be public record? Like why is it a FOIA request? Like why is it any of this guy's business that he thinks like it's everybody's business that they find out?
Because we the people, and if the government who's acting on our behalf do anything, it's our freaking business.
Well, okay.
Freedom of Information Act.
What is the consequence of us knowing? Do we really need to know?
Yes, we need to know.
Well,
as the government, they work for us. They work for me. Show me what you're doing.
Whether it's take the government out of it. Just take the government out of it. Do you need like Bitcoin? Bitcoin exists without the government. Government's magically abolished.
Well, if the government didn't interview them, that's a separate issue. This is the government's claim.
I'm just throwing a wrinkle into. I don't know the answer to it, but is it not my right if I were quote unquote Satoshi Nakamoto and I'm like the only condition I'm talking to you?
That's not this issue, though.
Secret.
That's not this issue. The issue is that the government made this claim.
What was the claim?
The claim was that they know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. So he's like, "Oh, you do? Prove it."
Where did that announcement come from? I want to see.
He just
somebody
said,
official them.
Yeah, he just said at that conference they made the claim.
By putting it up on like a PowerPoint? Like who's they? Like did unofficial come up on stage?
A DHS agent made these statements publicly at the Offshore Alert Conference on Financial Intelligence Investigations in 2020. They claimed that they interviewed Satoshi in California in person, and they learned 3 other people helped Satoshi. So
it might be just that guy needs to be
subpoenaed. You can hear it. You can hear the statement here.
There we go.
The 4420 mark.
I want to know who this guy is. I'm going to send some of my buds after and find out who this guy is. If he's not named overtly.
4420 mark. Let's see. Let's go to.
I'm Rana Saud. I'm a
comply with the laws.
pretty investigative. Our case agents were asking us. So under the SA regulation, so we teamed up through our Cornerstone program with not just the traditional. What a great way to have Coinbase speak to our agents about what their business model is and what they're doing in order to combat any exploitation of virtual currency, cryptocurrency, whatever name you want to give it.
346.
So under the foundational components of what we created called as the illicit digital economy, because cryptocurrency, digital currency, virtual currency, digital assets, virtual assets were all names that were being used to discuss this. So one of the things that we really started looking at, apart from the criminal exploitation, is what are the challenges of this cryptocurrency that's out there? And we thought, hey, we looked at Bitcoin. It was the most prevalent at that point. We'd seized quite a bit of it, millions of dollars worth under the Silk Road investigation. So one of our agents who started looking at another online marketplace through the deep web, which was called Black Market Reloaded, they were sending weapons through packages and ordering them on the dark web. And he was really, really smart, forward-leaning agent. And he goes, I want to go interview Satoshi Nakamoto. And we're like, what? He said, yeah, I want to go interview this guy. And at the time, we're like, hey, it's a figment of somebody's imagination. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not true. So, we had all this pushback from our headquarters. And we thought, hey, if an agent wants to go talk to him and we have some money, why don't we send him? Let's find out how this works. So as it came to be, the agents flew out to California and they realized that he wasn't alone in creating this. There were 3 other people, and they sat down and met with them and talked to them to find out how this actually works and what their reason for it was. And obviously the reason was not so that criminals would utilize it for nefarious purposes, right?
And met with them and talked to them. That's what she just said.
How they found out, if that's the case, like, oh, just because we're an investigative body means that we know all. We can scour the dark web.
Flew out to California and met with them.
I call bullshit on this, though. I don't believe it.
That's what he's saying. He thinks it's bullshit, too. That's why he's like, FOIA, prove it.
I get you. FOIA is not the way to go about it, in my opinion, that's most effective. I think there probably are some more like creative solutions in the info war to get it out of people. Like this whole, like, let's enter into the court system and then get mired in paperwork approach is not really
It's
time
okay.
conducive.
It can be pretty effective. Go check out what Very Dow's doing right now. It can be pretty effective.
Yeah, I mean, even with that though, like, okay, and this isn't nobody here is against any form of organizing of anything in a decentralized manner, but Reggie himself, it was a couple of years ago, he brought this up, and it's one of the most poignant things that is yet to be reconciled just with DAOs in general, is that, and this is talking our current statutory legal framework construct. If we stay in this legal construct framework that we are in, that was the 1871 onward approach to things, you can't be a legal entity without having a person be the custodian of the legal responsibility in the arena that you're in. You can't have, in other words, by definition, a decentralized organization without somebody to sue. So here's how it would work, right? The progression would, you might say, well, you can sue the organization. And Reggie's argument was, well, if it doesn't have a person that you can put as the agent to be sued on behalf of the organization, by definition, in that legal framework, you aren't an organization. It's kind of like a catch-22. You claim to be a decentralized organization. You can't be sued. Therefore, your status as an organization inside that legal system is null and void because you're claiming to be something that doesn't compute within the, So these things have to even be reconciled. Like, there's so much, like, we might just have to wash it away and go back to common law. And hopefully that's what happens. Because then it becomes a more friendly framework for us to exist in these ways that we want to as humans. But
which goes to some of the things that you were pointing out. Honor.
Yeah.
Going.
Yeah. Do you want to get back to that? That's a good.
Let's go back to your.
Okay, guys. So let's get back to the Wolverine stuff. Sorry for the little jumping around here. It's
some current events. That's good.
Yeah, we're doing this. What was it was like the Inside Edition with Bill O'Reilly. Fuck it, we're doing it live. Have you ever seen that clip where he was on hot mic and they were trying to do? Oh, I'll have to show it to you when we're done. It's hilarious. He's sitting there trying to do like a rehearsal on the teleprompter, but it's mistyped. The verbology is all up.
Frustrated, yeah.
And he just all gets frustrated. He's like, "Get it off the screen! I'm doing it live."
That's how I like to do it.
Exactly. So let me bring this back up.
Okay, yeah. Show me your
window.
Present.
Where's my Discord? vCypher.
I didn't do it.
Oh, I know. I don't know what happened here to my little Discord instance, but let me pull it back up and then maybe there it goes. It was because it was minimized. All right, everyone. So, Lisa, I'm going to have you play these two videos at the very end. These are really funny. One of these goes to the, how long does it take Cookie Monster to bake 6 million cookies?
Oh no.
And one of them, yeah, so they're really funny videos because they won't get you triggered. But they communicate some key points that the audience can share with their friends. Anyway, so back to, remember, she brought up the 4th chapter of our little Wolverine story. That was honor. Yes. Now, explain to the audience again why you think that's significant, Lisa, because this was something you came up with.
That goes to, I don't know that I can pull it up. I don't know if I have it called honor, if I have it called Cliff's tweet.
Yeah, it was a Cliff tweet that she was referencing, and I actually didn't put 2 and 2 together until she said this.
I had it as one of my slides for my presentation during
your Canadian excursion.
My little Canadian experience, yes. I might be able to just pull it up in my photos. Let's see. Can you search in photos? Library. Oh Lord, I take a lot of.
We're gonna stick on the honor thread while Lisa looks for that. I'm gonna keep scrolling down while she's looking for Cliff's tweet. we were on Artemis, remember, guys. I want to wrap this point up just nicely where it sits with, remember, Artemis being somebody who's all about metamorphosis, transformation. Wolverine was sniffing her out in the story, the arrow, the bear, the symbolism of Artemis in both of these things in ancient lore. And at the end of it, Apollo is Artemis's twin sister, as I mentioned earlier. Okay. The moon, Apollo, and the missions that NASA named after are the same, to the moon. Wrap up in a story called Fly Me to the Moon on Apple, where the Artemis mission is kicked off. By the way, the release of the Wolverine and Deadpool movie last year was the 55th anniversary of the fake landing of the moon, which, if we go up to some of my stuff from a couple of weeks ago, actually ties in the Artemis missions back to the very silver rig ritual that we're going through. So here's a little photo here from the movie Fly Me to the Moon, which is about the faking of the moon landing. You can watch this on Apple TV. It's got, who's the guy's name from Magic Mike?
Matthew McConaughey.
Something Channing Tatum.
Oh, Channing.
And Scarlett Johansson and Woody Harrelson. So it's, whatever. Kitschy.
Notice the gold folder.
And it's got a gold manila envelope folder. So it's, again, Fly Me to the Moon, about the faking of the Apollo 11 mission, Project Artemis. And you also have what are called the Artemis Moon missions, which are meant to send women back to the moon, which have been delayed. They were supposed to happen by NASA last year in 2024. But here's an interesting component. The patch on the Apollo 11 mission was an eagle landing with an olive branch, one wing bent. Same exact sigil on the back of the Eisenhower silver dollar. These were the 90% stricken silver dollars. And you can still get these, I think, all the way through the 70s and 80s, all the way up until the new Silver Eagle in 86 started being minted under Reagan. And then they did away with these because they went from the 90% to the 100% Bullion grade at that point, which we are at now. And here's the new back of that. So you've got the olive branch, no moon, full extended wings. There's some symbolism to take into account here, guys, where it's an ongoing story of the financial collapse. Silver is playing a big part in the revaluing of things. We all already know this, but what does the moon have to do with it? Why Artemis? Why Apollo? Why Oz?
Is that elbows up too?
What's that?
Is that elbows up too?
Elbows up. What does that mean? What does elbows up mean?
Do you remember when Trudeau said elbows up?
Nope, I don't. What was the
when he
context
stepped down, he said elbows up.
Interesting. Maybe so. I'll have to look into that more too. He's now out of the picture. He's off the world stage now. We've got Carney in place. So
right. Now they have the banker to walk through the.
So anyway, there's a Katy Perry component to this. Everyone, this goes back to some earlier work of mine, that it's a larger tapestry than I'm just painting at here. I'm only trying to touch on the larger beats. The moon, 55, 5 by 5. 55 is a mirror, 5 being a mirror, Looking Glass, Alice in Wonderland, Oz. These are all reflective. This is all reflexive to our reality, to our nature of looking ourselves into the Maya, like the Mayan calendar. That's why Batman's involved with this stuff. And I always mention him. But sure enough, every once in a while, you get in the spell casting in popular media, you get these alignments that happen, and the steg shows a path through all of the mythology. So we've got some things to look for here. In other words, we've got Callisto is the great bear. That's the next thing I was going to look into right before the stream. I didn't have all the time in the world to put this together this morning, but this is where we're at so far. Callisto is the great bear in the Greek mythology that is related here also. So what are we going to find out? We've got 6/1 to 8/31. So we've got essentially a 3-month span. That's our Summer of Chaos, right? Those were the release
And it
dates
kicks
of the
off in
Wolverine,
April.
right?
Because that's where I was
And then
showing
you got
you.
April 18th, something happening April 18th. So this is where I want to hand it back up to you guys, because remember that 418 in the middle of that Wolverine clip signified to me that maybe something's going to be transpiring beginning on the 18th. And this is where it got fun with Lisa and I before the show, because she had her own insights to share that fit in just like a puzzle piece here.
Yeah. So just like when I was in Canada, Janine had pulled some cards on financial collapse. And she said in 5 weeks, days, months. And that tied in with my, with Trump's presidential action to end DEI and move us to merit.
And the honor and merit, right?
Well, oh yeah. Okay. Well, so let me show you the honor thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Before we pull up this thread, the
I
whole
go
clip
to
thing.
the whole thing. Let me do one thing at a time. I'm glad you're reminding me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's good to have the autodidact on the stream, right?
Yes. How do I do this? Ooh. Let's see. Maybe if I do not this.
I think Great Gazoo is correct. Maybe he's talking 40% silver on those. I think I think that's what he's talking about when he said 40% in the chat. I think he might be talking about the Eisenhower coins on the silver content. Is that correct? Okay. I'm going to look that up right now. I might have misspoken.
I don't know.
Our silver dollar.
There it is. Honor tweet.
Yeah, he's right. That's what it is. 40% silver.
So here's the honor tweet that, sorry, mom's clock is going off. It says, this is, and I think this is where we're going to use with crypto. Like, you live in an interactive universe. The universe provides and guides. Honor your contract. And this is where he was talking about, like, we're going into a pirate world. Well, like in the pirate world, like, you're known, if you're a good pirate, like you cross that pirate and he's known to take you out if you cross him, and he's gonna if
you give him reason to. That's the other thing about pirates too. They're honorable to a fault. They're not going to fuck with you if you didn't fuck with them.
Right. But there's an honor code, and so honor your contract, and acknowledge your prayers granted. So the good and the bad, you know what I mean? Like you're saying, Ben. And so that's where it's going, is like in a peer-to-peer, and like with common law, standing in equity with somebody, that language to me sounds like common law or equity. When you hear that, and if you've been through any of those trainings, or if you look into Black's Law, is it Black's Law? Is that the right one? I think that's right. Some of you that are in all that, but looking into like the 18 laws of equity or whatever, back when I was studying all that stuff, that's what that sounds like to me, is honor your contract. So that's like when you, if you're doing a deal with somebody, you have to literally stand in their shoes. And would that be a good deal for you if you were standing in their shoes? So, and then you honor your contract. So it doesn't happen. It doesn't fulfill unless both sides are standing in equity. So that's, to me, and when I saw that honor, when you were in your decodes, that was fulfilling to me, or that, and
there's your 5x5 with the mirror too. Cause in the context of Stag, right, it's your life contract.
Yes.
You fulfill your life's contract when you blend your light side with your dark side, you integrate them both, and you spin that yin yang, baby, and you're doing that with balance and harmony. And there's your Japanese concept. Where do you guys think the Japanese got this stuff from? The Aryan, the white guys with the blue eyes, and everybody's minds are going to get blown when history gets rended. And it's going to be so much fun though. I have the most fun of anything trying to correct the history record. It's like a big puzzle. It's a gigantic puzzle. And for those of us who like solving puzzles, it's kind of fulfilling work. But
it is. I love this. So if we talk about timeline on January 21st, and this was part of my presentation, Trump wrote this, ending illegal discrimination, which is the DEI stuff, and restoring merit-based opportunity. And he goes into talking about how federal rights laws protected individual Americans from discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or nation origin. They served as a bedrock supporting equality of opportunity for all Americans. And then he goes into how commercial airlines notice all the planes falling out of the sky lately, you guys. If not, follow Heidi. She's following all of it. Law enforcement agencies, institutions of higher have dangerous, demeaning, and immoral race and sex-based preferences under the guise of so-called DEI. So then he says DEI violate text and spirit of our longstanding federal civil rights laws and undermine national unity. Blah, blah, blah. He goes on and on and on. So then he talks about how, therefore, I order all executive departments and agencies, and he spells it twice here, which is interesting, to terminate all discriminatory and illegal preferences.
Parenthetical, even, like as if to elaborate on the exact same word.
Yeah, that was very odd to me, but you know that matters.
It might be steganography. That's the kind of thing where you're like, huh, that's steganography. There you go. And so
that is
what are they saying?
Kind of legalism. He caught somebody in a loop that was trying to get out of the loop that mattered. But anyway, so I further order all agencies to enforce our longstanding civil rights laws and combat illegal private sector DEIs, blah, blah, policies. So, okay, here's where terminating illegal discrimination in the federal government, and here he revokes all these stupid DEI things, and he encourages the private sector to end DEI. Okay, here we go. Within 120 days of this order. And so that put in, so it wasn't 90, it was 120. Okay, so that goes to, so I did the math, and that goes to April 21st. So from January 20th to April 21st is the 120 days. And that is the Easter. And then when we were in.
Are you sure it's not? Hold on.
Is that right?
This might have more significance. It's May 18th.
Is it May
18th? But here, I'll share my screen again. This is interesting.
To further inform may appropriate civil rights.
It would be 120 if it was, it would be May. So, hold on though. Here's my screen again. If you put it back up, check this out.
Hold on, this may be the wrong.
Going to be looking for something.
Other actions.
Here it is. What does this say?
Within 120 days of this order, issue guidance. I swear there was a 90.
Put it back on my screen for a second.
Hold on. Let me make sure I've got it is 120 days. Dang, I'm off on my number.
Doesn't matter. We're still going to see some shit that weekend.
Where's your screen? Okay. Why won't it let me? Okay, hold on. I have to remove mine first. Okay, so that's your May.
Yeah. There you go. So there's something else that's going to happen on May 18th with the very same steganography thread we're talking about.
Okay, well then maybe that DEI thing kicks in then, but then maybe the Mark Atwood thing is what she's talking about in April.
And what this thing would be talking about too, because clearly they're both tied up together. May 18th and
breathe.
And April 18th. We also have an interesting 90 days from today that Trump put on the rest of the tariffs. We haven't gotten into that because it might not relate at all to Steg, but he put a stay of execution other than China for 100 for 90 more days. Curiously, today
Now
also,
I'm wrong on the 90 days. It was 120 from January.
there's
20.
still going to be plenty going on the weekend of April 18th. Whether your thing was off by a month or not, I think it's pointing to the Artemis thing, because it's all tied together, Lisa. Remember, Artemis is Apollo's twin sister, and Artemis is represented in the moon missions for NASA now. That's what they're calling the new one. So not the Apollo missions, the Artemis missions. And they're making it all about the goddess instead of about men. And in that, you have the 55-year anniversary exactly for the week that this movie came out last year. Remember the Project Blue Screen? That the day and date, by the way, everybody, the day and date of 7/19/2024 was the CrowdStrike outage. That was Project Blue Screen, as I call it. Maybe a thwarting of Project Blue Beam, which they maybe intended to put on that day and weren't able to do because they took CrowdStrike down and many other things, right?
So that could be the DJT day.
Yeah. 10th. Yeah, exactly.
So DJT day is the 10th, April 10th. So 4/10 is D is 4, J is 10, T is 20, and then 25 is 2 5s, 5 by 5. And you just showed the 5 by 5, and you're saying that's the CrowdStrike day. So that could be a blackout day, the beginning
today,
of
the tariffs went up to 125%. If you factor that out, it's 5 times 5 times
5 by 5.
555. So you even have the mind control. Everybody 555. If you notice, like that's the prefix always used in phone numbers in movies. 555 is the height of the Washington Monument above ground. It's 666 below ground. If you include the foundation, it's 555 above ground. All sorts of steg stuff we can get into here. We needn't, because the Monster Energy beverage, by the way, VOV 666. Monster Energy logo is 3 Hebrew characters put together, that signifies 666. So there's a lot of this stuff. It goes deep. And the financial collapse, we just try and pick up the harmonic pieces of the stage as it's playing out. Like there are beats that we kind of suspect, we know, we already know, like the tapestry of how they're going to unfold, but the details and then like the along the way measuring of it is kind of the fun that we have with the puzzle. I don't even know if any of this stuff is like at the end of the day, does it matter that we solve the exact date?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, because it's going to happen however it's going to happen. But it's just fun, like watching and kind of unpacking. So Janine had said in like 5 days, weeks, months, which would hit where she's kind of talking about this as well, this possible EBS. So she's validating herself here, but not on my timeline, but that's okay. Mine may be the merit, may be the restart, where it picks up, because we may have 30 days of darkness or 30 days of done in 30 or whatever, however the done in 30 thing, you know, how they had to like do all that. I don't know. I have no idea. I clearly have no idea, but I like playing around and seeing all the stuff. But so she was talking with Mark here and Atwood, who they have a lot of fun, and he sees lots of decode stuff and all that. And she's pulling.
Yeah, this is like an update, like, because it's been going back and forth. I've been reading, and it's like, okay, they're not doing it now. Oh, they look like they're doing it. Oh, they're trying to decide if they're going to do it. This one feels like a work in progress, kind of. They're gauging how things are going, but let's have a look. So we've got, oh my goodness. Oh boy, that changes everything. Interesting how, so she comes along and changes. These two look great, which didn't make sense to the EBS question. And then she makes sense out of everything. It's so amazing. Cards are so amazing. So we've got the Empress card here and the 4 of Wands. So that now I think is telling us a time frame. And the Queen of Cups right away tells us that they're really focused right now on a lot of other things. but by the end of April, between April and July. So she's July.
Remember you said July.
This card's
earlier?
April, 4th month. We're in
Yeah, that
April,
June
so
to
I'm going to say
August
by the end of
period,
April,
basically.
anytime between now and July, they could do the EBS. But I feel like with her here, it's not 100%. They're still going to do it. They're going to be checking in, but right now it's looking like they're going to do it, and that's the time frame.
And July would make sense because the 4th of July, having a parade. They're talking about also Trump's birthday is like June 16th. And they're trying to razz the libs and telling them that they should have, it's also Flag Day and it's also the Army's birthday. And they're saying, oh, you should have a big military parade and do all this, you know, show all the military, the new equipment and whatever. It's, of course, sending the libs into tears and craziness.
Maybe that's the day he's going to unleash all of his equipment he talked about today in his meeting.
Maybe.
You've never seen equipment so good.
Yeah, maybe. So that would be interesting to see, like, if the EBS comes out towards the end of this month, like she's saying. And then that led me down my little rabbit hole was.
So is the emergency broadcast, like, is this a foregone conclusion that everybody's talking about now? They're just expecting it, or are we even thinking that there's going to be something that happens outside of an emergency broadcast situation?
Well, I thought it was the financial collapse or the markets breaking or whatever. There was, of course, the Ivanka, the rabbit, you know.
This was the interesting one you showed me too. This is cool.
Yeah, so Peter Rabbit, the rabbit hole, of course, it's Tiffany. So Tiffany, everybody wore Tiffany blue. We all know how to follow that kind of
She's
stuff.
very much in the same color of dress that Alice wears when she traverses into Wonderland. Follow
Alice, yeah, down the rabbit hole. The other thing was on this was, you know, we know that there's some stores closing, but there's also HSBC, which is Hong Kong. Bank, Hong Kong, HSBC, which is a
Hong Kong Shanghai Bank Corporation.
Thank you.
All right, so decode this with me. This is insane. Holy smokes. All right, so HSBC, that is one of the top financial companies for transactions and many other things for all these bigger stores, bigger corporations. They are going to be suspending services on the 20th, Easter. Okay, well, hold on. First, I want you to look at the bottom right. Easter is Easter shopping blackout. Here's a list of all the stores that are closed on April 20th. Okay, that's pretty big. Now, this QCOM right here has always been one of the hardest on the Q board to figure out. It's boom, 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 a week to remember. There's more spaces in the booms. So Trump has been many times referring this week to booms, right? Okay, so if you break this down, boom.
What'd you say?
I said, has he? I haven't heard him say anything about booms.
Oh, yeah. That's
been something he's been saying, huh?
Yeah, when he's in the plane.
Is the first week.
And the patient. He's been talking about which I have other stuff about the patient, but we don't have to talk about that today.
April 2nd boom is the second, maybe? A week to remember. Definitely been a week to remember. Dark to light on the third boom. Fourth boom, fourth week of April, 20th. Blackout necessary. Oh, wow. I have a feeling.
So, I don't know. The other thing was that when this first, at the beginning of this video, it says breaking HSBC is temporarily suspending services April 20th for, quote, faster payment systems maintenance. Well, if you go back like in March, Trump had an order for the Treasury to create a faster payment systems to digitize and get more faster payment.
Here comes our first financial system that we're going to reject, maybe. Huh?
Maybe.
That would be fun. That would be a fun hit to live through. Because
here it is. He signs an executive order to push the U.S. Treasury to modernize payment systems in order to reduce waste and fraud and abuse. U.S. Treasury dollar incoming.
Well, like you said, the 18th is Good Friday. It is Easter weekend. Blackouts come with the territory of the resurrection. Will it be a conclusive resolution? Or will they have to try it again and again and again?
I don't know.
And is it planned that they try it 3 times even? We just know that it is happening. And wouldn't it be funny if we look back on this in a couple of months and we were correct that that's the first one, and then the second try is on the 18th and it has something to do with the Artemis shit?
I don't know.
Oh,
What did they
man.
call it that? I don't even know.
And then just throwing a dart at the wall. Like, wouldn't it be funny if the 56th anniversary of the moon landing is when all the FASB 56 black money all comes out in July? Who knows? Like, this is the kind of stuff where the inquiry starts, everyone. I mean, I'm not arguing any of this. I'm just being playful, but it very well could hold water if we look into it.
And this was fun.
What are we looking at here? The new
The
ticker. It just has
that
X's.
they X'd out all the tax.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So that internationaldebtclock.com or whatever the hell you go to look at this, that they've just zeroed those.
They X'd
fields
out. Where is it? So they were like, what
Really?
if they're phasing out income tax, switching to tariffs, preparing, and that's where, like, so I read this one thing from a guy. They cross out the income tax and corporate tax, signaling something deeper. Markets taking a hit, and most people are distracted by short-term noise. What if they're phasing out income tax, switching to tariffs, preparing to back the next system with real world assets like gold, silver, or even tokenized infrastructure on the blockchain, like we've all been talking about. So it's very, very interesting.
We need some blood for the Tree of Liberty too. We need some of that.
Well, I think that's already. They were showing slowed down video of Hillary being taken into custody on September 11th of 2016, and you could see
like footage that you hadn't seen before too.
No, I mean, I've seen it, but a lot of people hadn't. I mean, people were sending it to me, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh, that's what it's noteworthy that because it's the normies that are starting to send it to you. Like, have you seen this? Like, yeah, 10 years ago.
Yeah, and they've slowed it down so you can see that her hands are behind her, together, that she's clearly handcuffed, and you don't handcuff someone who's in heat stroke and shove them in a van. So,
Oh, speaking of the Clintons, one other thing I saw today didn't come, just a noteworthy thing, funny headline. It's something like Monica Lewinsky leaves her cluttered past with Bill Clinton behind her to join the world's elites.
What?
Yeah, I'm serious. Like headline, pretty much. I'm paraphrasing a little bit.
To join the world elite.
Yeah, like why would you say that? Lewinsky headline today?
Like
Lewinsky.
She's not going to be a smutty whatever anymore. Like.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I forgot where I saw this. Break silence on the Bill Clinton. No. This was so she's been in the news regularly, it looks like, since back in February.
Not going to hang.
It wasn't even just today's headline. So she's like back in the news cycle for some reason. Anyway, I don't have anything else to add other than it's interesting. Why is she back in the news cycle?
I don't know. Why is Nancy Kerrigan doing commercials?
Yeah. And what's with the crying ritual the day that Tanya Harding comes on to X and announces that she, it's like, what the fuck?
What's happening? Yeah.
With these rituals.
It's so bizarre.
Oh man. It's like the 90s and nostalgia, like the Portlandius.
I think it's them showing us that it was a movie. Our whole life has been a movie.
Really heavily since movies took the center stage, like
the
influence of movies, man.
And that's where like we are living in Saturn. We are living in the box.
Well, in a manner of speaking, maybe
time.
more real. That may be more real than we want it to be too. It might be literally like, I don't know how far, if I'm correct about frequency manipulations from space, are those very manipulations what keep our sensory apparatuses from operating? And can I not see physical shit that I'm supposed to be able to see? Like, are the Elohim just sitting outside my front yard right now, just like with a device? They're like, God damn it, he knows.
If we had the night goggles that Uncle Cliff's dad had, we probably could tell.
Yeah. I know. I don't know.
Just saying.
Are the Selenites even the Elohim?
I don't know.
Are the Mantids the Elohim? I have that as a supposition that I'm kind of exploring too, is the Mantids, those psychic fucks from Cliff's they live. Okay, they live goggles would be good too, but the they live goggles only turn other things that you already see into the true form. They don't let you see the invisible. So but Cliff was saying what was the thread I was on?
The Mantids.
The Mantids. His mantid creatures from his trips, the psionic ones.
Oh yes, I remember.
I'm not so sure that might not be the Elohim themselves. So powerful with their psionic abilities that they're showing us these ultra charismatic beings to interact with. Because otherwise we'd flee in horror because they're so ugly and mandibles and that kind of is a territory that I've been exploring in my studies to see what I find that might lend some credence to that supposition. Just it's a maybe,
Yeah, because we do have like that response. What is it? Vagus nerve response or whatever. Like if I see like, a mouse, like just the movement of the tail or whatever, like I scream and run and like I cannot be anywhere.
You don't like mice are everywhere.
Horrified. Yeah, no. Things of nightmares.
You were an elephant in a previous life.
Possibly. I love elephants. Yeah, possibly. So
elephants are so cool. They're some of the coolest creatures, like hands down.
They love their family and all the things. And I remember most everything. So except when I forget. So all right.
Well, this is fun. This is a good thread. We'll see how it evolves, everyone. Keep your eyes on both the 18th coming up, April 18th and May 18th, both. And then that June to August period for some real fireworks here.
Have a great Easter. We're not there yet, but watch out.
Yeah, I guess you and I still have one more show next week.
And watch out for DJT Day. I still think there's a DJT Day possibility there. So, all right. That's enough predicting of things that we have no idea what will happen.
It's enough supposing. I don't know if we're predicting. We're supposing.
Yeah. No, for sure.
They end up being pretty prescient predictions in arrears a lot of the time, but that's the fun of it. I'm not a friggin' fortune teller here. I'm an analysis of the event stream, or an analyst.
Yeah. No, for sure. I'm not predicting anything. All right. We'll see you guys next time. I love doing this. Make sure you check out the description for links to follow Skullcap on Rumble. They are doing a great show on Saturday nights. I'm usually in the live chat for that as well.
It'll have its own place on the internet within the next couple of weeks, and then we'll link it here. It's on my friend's channel called the Phoenix Enigma, and you can find him on Rumble too.
Yeah. And he has a beautiful, amazing wife with great energy who I adore.
The Sicilian witch.
Cannot wait to meet her. Yeah. Okay. All right. You guys take care.
Later.